Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Gospel Two Wheels. How is everybody doing this morning? I see a few of you guys are already on here. It's a little early. Yeah, I'm a little tired. I was up too late last night. Just not doing anything. But uh, how is everybody doing? It's great to be here as always with all of you. All of you who are watching live, all of you who are watching later. Great to see you guys. Let me know you're here if you are here by chiming in. If you're new to this whole experience of the live show with Highland Cycles, there's Roger Hurd, there's Eric, there's Kim. Um, you can type in any questions, comments, whatever. Say what's up, and it would be awesome. Bruce Kennedy, how's it going? The Yeah, we answer questions. We talk about dirt bikes, whatever's going on. No big agenda today. The only thing that's happening is Gary M. What's happening? Justin, what's happening? We are going racing this weekend. Tomorrow, Joel Dubois, what's happening? We are heading to the Shady Burro Enduro, or the Sketchy Donkey, as we like to call it, over in South Fork, Colorado, which is, no one knows where South Fork is, but it's over. It's kind of sort of close to Wolf Creek Pass. I guess it's relatively close to Wolf Creek Pass. Mike Klinger, what's happening? And all that, Pagosa Springs and all that stuff. So it's a beautiful part of the state, as most parts of the state are. John Rybacki, Rod, Kim, I will do my best to pin it. And yes, Travis, actually, this was from Brady. By the way, where's Brady Metter? How come he's not on here yet, yelling at me, telling me 4 strokes are better than 2 strokes, which is clearly wrong. Kim, I'm sorry I haven't called you back. It's been nuttiness. I will try to call you, or if you want to shoot me the question you had right here, that'd be awesome too. But yeah, South Fork is awesome. The Shady Burro is a rad enduro. It's an old school. I mean, it's not a timekeeper old school, but it's an old school style enduro with lots of rocks, lots of mud, lots of elevation, lots of mileage. Each day for the A riders is over, or 100 miles or over, so it's going to be awesome. Jeff Lycia, are there in-depth manuals for a dirt bike, such as all data for cars? Yeah. Well, they're not a lot of like Haynes man. It depends on the bike. Some, yes, Matt Simpson, I will see you there. There are some like Haynes manual, climber manual kind of things for dirt bikes, but the best way to go is to get the OEM one. Sometimes they're really expensive, but they're totally worth it. They have everything you could ever want to know about the bike, how to, down to splitting the cases, what tools you need, like special tools if you do need them, all that stuff. So whatever bike it is you have, I would recommend spending the money. If you want a manual, I'd recommend spending the money on the OEM one. It's totally worth it. Did you see Imig won over 50 at Loretta's on a 150? Dude, that's awesome. I did not hear that, Roger. That is sweet. That is awesome. That is so cool. I will be racing the 125. If you haven't watched the video of me getting that thing ready, I put another piston in it. I put a higher compression head on it, and now what else? I just tuned it up, oil change, all that good stuff. I checked the muffler bolts this time. Jim Rupp, what's happening? I Loctited them because I did not know that things like that came loose on motorcycles. I've never had it happen before, but yeah, I got that done, and it should be ready to rock. I got tires from the last race. I didn't change tires, so I'm running that Kenda Gauntlet on the back, and the Bridgestone M59 up front. So it should be a good setup. And yes, Roger Hurd. Now it is up to the rider. Hopefully, I can put that thing up front. Well, if the Shady is at all like last year, it's not as hard as the Santa Isabel, so I should be good. The only place that 125 suffers is really technical uphill. So Matt Simpson asked if I'm running the pink or purple power band. I'm actually running the chartreuse power band, so it should be good. No Pro Heroes West, what's happening, man? The Chartreuse power band is going to be good, I think. Yeah, I'm excited. I absolutely love racing that bike. In fact, quick thing, I had a comment, if it was on a video or on a Facebook post, but someone asking me why on earth I race a 125, and then I had another guy come into the shop and ask me that point blank. He's like, "Why do you got this 300? It's so nice." I'm like, "Yeah, but the 125 is just more fun. It is so much more fun to race than even when it's suffering on the technical uphills. It's so much more fun to race than a 300 or a 250 or a 450 or any of that stuff. I've been having so much more fun on that, and I've had way better results than I've ever had. And I'm obviously older than I've ever been. I'm not in that great of shape, like as far I mean, I'm okay, but it's like, anyway, the 125 is obviously the tool for me. I love it. And yes, Roger heard it's the Indian, not the air. There's my mom, and my kids are in Oklahoma right now, and my mom says my lazy sons are still asleep. I love it. They're on vacation with my grandparent, or their grandparents, my parents, in Oklahoma. That's awesome, Mom. I love you. And Justin, what's happening? And Wes, yes, the way on the pipe, way more. I feel like I'm actually riding the motorcycle to its potential, or not. Well, definitely not its potential, because a real rider could win races on that thing, but I'm riding it closer to its potential than I can a 300. Wow, no, but definitely at the San Isabel, at the top of Snowslide, I wish I could have hit the button and had a 300 up that last part. Kim Jackson said jetting is perfect on the 250, and the RK Tech is the bomb. My question is, all the spooge dropping onto the rear brake, not good. 40-1 Dominator, thoughts on keeping it out of the brake? Kim, great question. My bike. Hey, there's Brady Meadow. What's happening? And Jimmy Neihart. So on the spooge is real when you get an RK Tech head on you and you go up on the jetting like you're supposed to get all the horsepower out of it. It didn't, unless you're wide open on the gas all the time, it tends to spooge. The best thing I've found is repack your silencer a lot. There you go. Bruce said basically what I'm saying is, keep an add an elbow onto the end of the silencer, like, so you could go up, but that's one way. And then, like I said, keep fresh packing in there, and packing is cheap and easy to do, and also making sure you keep the holes clean in the silencer. Actually, on my 125, I drilled the holes out bigger, like in that baffling. I drilled the holes out just a little bit bigger, not all of them, obviously. Take forever, but I drilled some more out, and that helped a lot. The repack it with R38. There you go, Matt. I do like Rogers, ride it harder. So it is funny. Like the 125 has basically now just become a race bike. It just lives in the showroom all shiny and pretty until I go racing, because that bike really doesn't like to go trail riding. It's just and one of the reasons, I mean, it's fine. It runs fine. It's fine to go trail riding with it, but it spooges like crazy if I just go trail riding, especially with the boys or anybody that's not quite as quick. You're just cruising around. So, whatever. But and so it gets really dirty like that. When I race it, it usually has a little drool at the thing. I think that's from the beginning and warming it up, and then like this couple slow sections. But then after that, it cleans out. And then there we go. We all knew Brady was going to come in with the doesn't spooge. You're correct, but your 4-stroke is stupid. And Jimmy Neihart, spooge is better than lean. Yes, 100%. Bruce Kennedy, my beta with the RK insert and big main spooges a bunch. I don't mind either. Like, I just don't care. Like, it doesn't bother me at all. I don't really like Kim saying though it's getting on the brake. That is less than optimal for sure. Roger Hurd coming in clutch with the comment, Brady, it won't spooge if it never starts. Oh, that's so good. Thanks, Roger. After talking with Kelsey and experiencing the like how much power and how good the bike runs with the head and the jetting, I just don't care about the spooge. Or Brady has given me a hard time about the way mine sounds. It sounds like it's not like this super crisp, clean, but it runs brilliant. If you rode my bike, you can't feel anything other than a ton of torque and horsepower. So yeah, whatever. I just cleaned the bike, so it's all good. Jimmy Nahar, your TPI doesn't spooge. Yeah, no, whatever. When it locks up tight, the next time we're together, we can talk about that. And then, see, there you go. Brady Metter sounds horrible. Brady Metter thinks that every two-stroke sounds horrible, so that's all there is to it. Yeah, and I just like, yeah, I cannot say enough good about putting an RK Tech and getting the jetting right on a two-stroke. It just is absolutely like brilliant. It's so good. And yes, Jimmy, I will help you push it off a cliff as soon as it locks up tight. Oh, that's awesome. I don't know if you guys watched the video, the schlog of the boy and I putting a piston back in the 144. But we did, like he crashed, didn't tell me that it was smelling coolant, and then it stopped running so good when it melted the piston a little bit. And children. Anyway, I was concerned that maybe we'd done damage to the cylinder and all that stuff, but anyway, we took it apart. If you guys haven't watched it, check it out. It's pretty good. The last slog, we took it apart, honed it, got the melted aluminum off the cylinder. Nicosil looked great. The piston, basically, the really bad thing, it just kind of locked the ring. It kind of locked the ring into the piston, so it wasn't anyway. So new piston, and it was awesome. Rode Mel's loop with the boys. Other than them whining like little babies, and if they're watching, they're going to be mad at me. But they got past it with the sand. It was hot and the sand was deep, but anyway, the struggle bus showed up and they were having a hard time. But other than that, the bike ran great. And actually the bike ran great there too. And Brady, yes, 500 two-strokes do sound rad. By the way, does anyone know anybody that has tried the new 500 kit that Canadian company has been building up? Like you can put, I think they have one, supposedly they have one for a YZ, but I know they have one for the KTM. It's a stupid amount of money, but you can buy basically a 500 for your KTM 300. I'd love to know if anybody's actually ridden or knows anybody who's ridden one of those. And Roger, yeah, I was amazed. The bike was, slapped a piston in it and it was all good to go. My mom, I think I'll need dynamite to get them up. That's fine. Just let them sleep. My mom has been wearing them out. She's been taking them to the pool, take them all over town. They're hammered, so it's perfect. Eric, how many miles is that Mel's loop? It's 29 miles, 29.6 or whatever, 30 miles, call it 30 miles. And that's just the actual Mel's loop. There's lots of trails that go off of that. You can go over into Westwater. You can get to Thompson Trail via that. Anyway, there's lots of things. Brady, I'd like to try one of those 500s. I don't know that, but I also would like to know that they either actually exist in the real world. I know that there's, whatever, but yeah, anyway. Guys, I see that there's quite a few of you watching, but only a few of you have clicked the like button. So if you get a chance, back out of the chat, hit the like, and then come on back in. Or as Brady always does, hit the thumbs down, which we appreciate very much. Yeah, Matt, the sand whoops. Kevin O'Laughlin, it hit the like button. The The sand whoops were tough on the kids. Actually, Thomas did fine. The only time he struggled was he got really, really hot and he was in this wash and like there's this stupid tiny little lip and he could not figure out how to get over it. That was whatever. It was his attitude because he at that moment in the ride he was mad at me for even taking him out there because it was 90 and deep sand. But yeah, he he let a mental block keep him from going over this silly little lip. But the whoops, he no problem. Okay, Tristan Faith. Not to get too far off topic, but I'm going to be in North Carolina at the end of this month. Any recommendations for that's good? Hey, Tristan, that's a fine question. I have no idea about North Carolina. Jimmy Neihart might. He's over on that side of the planet. The desert there in your last video is different than our high desert, sage, juniper, trees, and rocks. Yeah, that desert, that's actually Utah desert. We were just over the Colorado border into Utah, like just across the board, maybe 5 miles. Chris Cooley torched my knee a few weeks ago riding, so got a canceled camping spot for the Idaho trip. If anyone's looking for a spot, oh, okay, Chris, right on. Yeah, if anybody's looking for a spot, I'm guessing you have a spot there at Smiley. So yeah, if contact Chris Cooley. Chris, you're on. I think you're on Facebook too, Chris. I honestly, I'm sorry, I don't remember everybody who's everywhere, but or maybe Chris, you could email me, Morgan at highland-cycles.com with your info. And then if someone contacts me, I can send them to you. But that's a huge bummer that you hurt your knee. I'm sorry about that. Brady, are you coming to Idaho? South of the border has 6 tracks behind it. I rode dual sport events down there. Right on. South of the border. I'm guessing south of the border is a place in South Carolina. There you go, Chris Kinberg. Cool, right on. I will. Yeah, I'll get you guys together, the two Chris's, one way or the other, whether you're on FB or. But it looks like Chris is going to email me. Kinberg, you should email me too. I don't know if I have your email, but I got you on Facebook, so yeah, I'll get you guys hooked up. I forgot. So huge thank you / announcement, whatever, to. Harlan Schoonover is the guy who bid the highest on the XR650R. He bid $3,000. So thank you, Harlan. All that money is going to the Motorcycle Relief Project. So again, Harlan, thank you so much. Huge, giant thank you to Mark Odette for donating the bike. Thank you, Mark. Thank you to Trail Tech, Seal Savers. Who else? Evans, Task Racing, all the companies that donated to it. It was really, really awesome. And thank you to everybody who bid. Thank you to everybody who shared the videos and the posts on Facebook. Thank you all so much. It's awesome because Harlan is actually a local. He lives up in Ridgeway. So he's going to be able to just come grab that thing. And Mark is actually coming over today. He's on his way. I saw he had a post. I'm surprised he's not on here on his phone. But yeah, he anyway, he's coming over to transfer the title and all that stuff. So anyway, thank you. Also, just so happy and proud to help out with the Motorcycle Relief Project. You should check them out if you ever want to donate money, time, whatever to an organization. I really, really think they're amazing. They use motorcycles to help with veterans therapy, rehabilitation, whatever you want to call it, just help veterans through motorcycles. And I think that's just amazing. So yeah, I'm really proud to be a part of it. Brady, I did see what happened to Matt in Idaho. Holy moly. That's the thing about Idaho is it's a real steep place. So I'm just glad that Matt is okay, and that everybody's okay, and that it's going to all work out. But that was gnarly. Yeah. So our friend Matthew Caraway they were riding the Rideaho Grit 1, which is they ride from Nevada all the way to Canada, in Idaho, and he was riding, and he went off the trail, and the bike tumbled to the bottom of a canyon. They had to ride 2 out, and they're going to a town to stay, and then they're going back in to go get the bike, winch the bike back up. Anyway, it's gnarly. So, yeah, that's a bummer. But that is Idaho. I've I raced there once. They didn't send us on anything like that, but we rode there with Zach last year, and it's there are some moments you definitely do not want to go off the trail. So, Kevin, you were so close, by the way. And I'm sorry that I know Mark contacted you. That's a bummer, but the other bid was in the spam folder. So, but honestly, the big thing is the big takeaway is that the money, even more money went to the motorcycle relief project. So I'm super happy about that. It's just it's a cool organization. I'm just happy to help out. So that was awesome. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, Cubco bike build. If you guys, so another charity thing we're doing. That bike is in pieces at my shop, and I am waiting on a gasket set for it. I got the seals, but the gasket, anyway, I have the top end kit for it already. But yeah, that motor is going to come apart here probably next week. Robinson Motorsports, what's happening, Nick? But probably get that engine apart next week. And again, if you guys are new here and you're like, what is going on here? This is not all we do. We do, oh my gosh, I gotta hang on, guys. There we go. Sorry, something happened. Anyway, Adobe was trying to uninstall. So anyway, what was I saying? So anyway, if you're new here, that's what I was saying, and you're like, what is going on here? Why is this guy talking? Whatever. This is just our live show that happens every Thursday. We also do lots of tech videos and things like that. Well, the tech video that's coming up, well, we got ones all the time, but this one's going to be cool. We're going to split the cases on a 350 KTM. So I'll show you how we do that. We're going to put all new seals, all new gaskets, check out everything. I don't think it needs any big parts like crank or bearings or anything like that. It all seems really solid. Go all back together. We are putting a brand new top end, cam chain, tensioner, everything in it. And then we're going to auction that, raffle that off for Cubco, which is the Colorado Off-Highway Vehicle Coalition that does a lot of work in helping maintain our right to use motorized stuff on trails here in Colorado. So anyway, that's coming up very soon now, finally. I've been talking with Matt Hiller, and he's getting everything ready. It's going to be hopefully like an adventure package. It's going to be cool. Awesome, Wes. the video on doing the top end on 300 is very helpful. Good. I'm glad. I just did another one. I was trying to shoot the video. This super nice guy, David. David, it was so great meeting you. Came in. I was dropping off his 250. Was it XC? I think it's an XC. Or is it an XCW? XC. I think it's XC, David. Sorry. That's weird. All I was doing was paying attention to the motor. But the yeah, he came in for a top end, and I thought he was just going to drop it off and leave, and I was going to do it and film the whole thing. But anyway, he ended up hanging out, which is totally awesome. I got to hang out with Dave while we did it, and I just didn't film because not everybody wants to be on camera. Denise, I can't wait to see you Saturday. Thanks. I'm happy to be helping out with Cubco. Are you racing on Saturday and Sunday? Let me know. And then is Vrenny racing? I'm sure she is. Bike Vault, what is happening? How is Thailand today? So yeah. Oh, and by the way, if any of you guys are watching this and you're going to be at the Shady Burrow and I haven't met you, please stop by. My van obviously will be there. It's big and red, and that says dirt bikes all over it. So come on over, say what's up. Sadly, it's just going to be me because the kids are in Oklahoma with my mom and dad, and Ruth doesn't want to go racing. She's like, have fun. So she's going to do other cool stuff by herself without the three boys of the family there. It's going to be awesome. No Vrenny school. That sucks. But I'm excited to see you. Is Jeff going to be there? That'd be cool. Also, have you got your gas yet? Chris Cooley, 250, 300 A or B piston. What is the best way to determine which one you need? I've seen blanket statements like anything over 25 hours, go with B. So here is the blanket statement. Another blanket statement. I'll go deeper. Here's the blanket statement, though. Chris, any one of those pistons will fit in any one of those cylinders and make zero difference on the way it runs or anything like that. So that's the reality, okay? Those pistons are 0.01 of a millimeter different. That is, I mean, that is almost nothing. So like they'll fit in anyone, it won't matter, right? So there's that. Now, if you want to make sure that the thing is like perfect, because the reason they have those different size pistons is because difference in manufacturing and all that stuff, and they want you to be able to, if you want to, get the absolute perfect fit for your cylinder. So if that's what you want to do, if you want to take the time, then you need a dial bore gauge and a good micrometer and all that, and you need to measure your cylinder up and down and make, hopefully make sure it's all straight and all that. But then get the really precise measurement, and then find out what the recommended clearance between piston and cylinder is from KTM. And I honestly just don't know what that is. I know what ring and gap and all that is, but I don't know what it's probably like 2 or 3 thousandths. Maybe it's, I don't know, whatever. Maybe someone here knows exactly what. Anyway, find out what the clearance is, and then pick the piston that's the exact right size for that. So that's how you do that if you want it to be perfect. That is the best way to make the most horsepower and have the tightest. There you go. No Pro 5000. Thank you. So that's the way you have the tightest motor in the like. That is how you do it. The reality, Brady. The reality is that A, B, whatever, they just all fit. So I personally always just put, like, from the first time on, I just put B pistons in them, and it doesn't matter. Let's see. Nutrition Faith, I'm building an 05 WR250F. Just installed a big bore kit. Should put a stage 2 hot cam or leave it stock? I put the cam in it, Tristan. Like, the cams make a huge difference on 4-strokes, and especially on those bikes, they make a really, really big difference. So I do, if you have the money. I mean, it's all about budget, right? And like, I'd hate to see you spend that $100 and whatever on the cam and then not be able to go ride because you don't have any money. So, whatever, make that decision. But if you have the money, if it's in the budget, do the cam. It really makes a huge difference. Bike Vault. I just don't think of Thailand being dry for some reason. Bike Vault. I don't know. In my mind, I've obviously never been there. In my mind, Thailand is like wet all the time. Hey, I'm guessing Ewan is saying howdy paw. Hi, bud. Yes, Jeff, we were working a check Sunday. Gotta run. See you there. Right on, Denise. I will see you there. Have a good one. Torben, what's happening? Super stoked to be there this weekend. Cool. Keith McQueen, what's up? As B rider, is fork height worth messing with? Looking for a little quicker turn in on the 300XC. Keith, actually, yes. I think fork height makes a huge difference, even for BC riders. I notice fork height a lot, so I think absolutely. Bruce, all the advice for pistons and cylinder goes out the window when you decide to go Wiseco. I don't like them. I'm with you, Bruce. I don't like Wisecos either. I run Vertex or OEM, period. Matt Simpson, but you have, that's those valve doing. It's awesome. Bike Vault, please post a pic on Facebook, because it's just crazy. Chris Kenberg says Thailand is badass. I'm sure Thailand is super badass. Awesome. Hi, Thomas. I love you, buddy. I hope you're having fun. It looks like you guys are having a ton of fun. Chris Kinberg, we should go and ride for Ride the World series of awesomenesses. I want the Ride the World to really be Ride the World eventually. It's going to take some time to build up the, hopefully, viewership, subscribers, all that. We got to make some money for that kind of thing. But I would really like to have Ride the World actually go around the world. I'd love to go to Thailand. I'd like to go to Australia really bad, New Zealand really bad. Romania would be awesome. Go get beat up in the Carpathian Mountains. That'd be awesome. Robinson Works, I've had good luck with Pro X as long as it doesn't say China on it. Yeah. I've never used Pro X pistons. I'm sure they're good. Oh, so the Kawasaki that kept dying at idle was state or bad? I may have missed the final verdict. Yes, Bruce Kennedy. I'm thinking you're talking about the KX250F that would not want to start and die. Yes, it's so. Yes, it was a stator. We got a new one. I have a new gasket. Finally showed up yesterday, so I'll be fixing that. I think I'm gonna get that done today. I'm hoping. So anyway, but yeah, it. So those KXs, and I don't know if all four strokes are like this. I don't know. I don't think so. But anyway, that one specifically is it's got two windings on the stator because it's got no lights or anything like that. So it's got a pickup coil, the crank position sensor, and then it's got two windings on the stator, a low speed and a high speed winding. And the low speed one was the one that was failing. Even though it didn't show it on a resistance test, it was the one that was failing. So if you pulled the thing and got the motor spinning fast enough, it would fire up and run. As long as you kept the high enough RPM, it was fine. But then it would drop and die, and then you couldn't kick it fast enough to start it. So yeah, there we go. Let's see. Yeah, Roger Hurd, let's go. You can be the chase driver. I'm in. The one that died. Yeah. So yeah, Bruce Kennedy. It's weird. Some four strokes, and I think even some two strokes. It's a weird. Well, it's not really a weird design. It's. I think it's overcomplicated. I like things with just one stator, like one winding that makes power for everything, and they deal with the regulation and rectifying. Well, you don't have to rectify for spark, but anyway, with another part that's easy to replace. And anyway, but yeah, on four strokes, it's in oil. They got a low speed and a high speed, and I think it's overcomplicated, and they do fail, and it's weird. Sometimes they'll fail. Sometimes the other one will fail. So the thing will start and idle really good, but then run like poop as soon as you give it any gas. And anyway, so they're odd. But yeah. Yeah, bike fault. When's a good time to go to Thailand? And how much does it cost to get to Thailand? And can you rent bikes in Thailand? So that would be the other thing. So Torben, you got to make sure you come by and say hi at the Shady Burrow. Like I said, I'll be there. I'm actually leaving tomorrow morning, probably kind of early, 8-ish maybe. And going over there, setting up camp, and just hanging out. It's gonna be awesome. Matt Simpson, so many moving parts on four strokes. Is yeah, Bruce Kennedy. Oh my, the high speed going bad. Everyone would blame the carb. So it's funny, Bruce. That is so very true. I can't tell you how many people, and myself included, I did it long ago. And so I kind of learned my lesson a very long time ago. But how many people chase carb problems when it's a stator problem? And Honda CRF 250s do it more than anything because they have a high and low speed and they fail all the time. And the freaking dumb things run like there's something wrong with the carburetor all the time. It's like, anyway, it's a giant pain in the butt. And so, but I have had so many people taking carburetors apart and just like going nuts. And they finally bring it in like the carburetor, something wrong with the carburetor. I'm like, oh, and they, there's nothing wrong with the carburetor. They've completely cleaned it. It's perfect. Everything's great. And the stator's bad. So yeah, it's a real problem. Torben, I am riding both days, racing both days. So are you working or riding, Torben? I don't know if I saw that or if you posted it or not. Matt, I'm looking forward to seeing you, man. It's been a while. Sure, you can rent bikes. We have quite a few off-road adventure places. CRFs are popular as they're made here. But bike vault, I'll ride anything. I don't even care. Yes, Bruce Kennedy. All the problems could be definitely blamed by loose silencer bolts. So ridiculous. Kelly Pate, you're working both days, right on. We'll see you there. Hey, what's up, Elijah? What's happening Fridays? Torben, I am on 38. Boo. I'm so bummed out that I got that far back. I signed up the very second that it not the second, within hours of it opening, really hoping for a good row. But I know that with TSEC and Army C guys that paid for rows, there was no way I was going to get super good. But anyway, yeah, sad. So I'm on 38. Where are you, Torben? And Matt, what row are you on, dude? Let's see. Brady, do they make a thumb adjuster compression screw for the Yamaha like the KTM's? Thumb adjuster compression screw. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh man, that does suck. Better brush up on the Indian call. Oh yeah, Torben, I'm gonna be doing my whoop, 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 a lot. And Matt, I should totally try a number next year. I really wasn't planning on racing RMECs this year. I was just gonna do the Weebies with the kids and not go racing quite as much as I have been. But then I just got super fired up on racing. So yeah, whatever. Sorry, I will tell Thomas. I will tell Leia she's a good dog. She's very tactical. Keith McQueen, pay for Rose. I know, but I don't know. It's. I know that back east you guys don't do that, and that's fair enough. But I do like it's a good way for the club to raise money and help pay for all this racing stuff. So I get it. But oh, Matt Simpson, you're not racing. Gotcha. So are you just? I'm guessing you're just working. Oh, Bruce Kennedy. There you go. He's talking about fork adjuster. I was thinking about for 4 strokes. So we've been talking about 2 strokes and 4 strokes. I'm like compression adjuster. How do you up the compression? But there we go. Roger, I had a horn on it, but then all it did was fall off, and yeah, whatever. And so Kevin, I don't know where Brady is, but yes, you can get a thumb adjuster for Yamahas. It's and Brady will know where to get it. But yeah, you can get just one that you can do with your hand. All right, guys, I got a boogie. It's 8:03. We got tons of work to do at the shop, and I'm sure the Sheetses are already on their way and going to yell at me if I'm late. So I love you guys so very much, so much, and I really appreciate you guys coming here and hanging out with me on Thursday mornings. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. We do all kinds of cool stuff all the time. If you've been here forever, thank you. You are the reason that I do this. Punk Rock Club, boom. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. I love you guys. You guys have an awesome day. Get out, spread the gospel of 2 wheels. And as always, you know what I'm going to say, I hope that what we're doing here at Highland Cycles is inspiring you guys to work on and get out and race and ride your dirt bikes.